Hello, everybody. I'm Frank Stanisci of Candid Frank Live. Welcome to the Spanglish World Network on Zingo TV, channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. Both apps are absolutely free. Zingo TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. Now on Candid Frank Live, joining me is Aaron William Freeland. Thank you, Aaron. How's it going, my man?
It's not going too badly, Frank. Not badly at all.
Is that a hockey stick on that sweatshirt?
Yes. It's a fantasy T-shirt for a league that doesn't exist.
Okay, so that T-shirt really isn't there.
Well, the T-shirt is there. The team.
Oh, okay. Okay. What it represents isn't there.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Well, let's see. The Canadian Football League this week, we saw that the Edmonton Elks, we'll talk about it. Well, we talk about it now. They had 13 cases. Now one of them dropped. They haven't had any new cases in what? They started recapping on Friday, right? So they could actually play that game against Calgary.
Technically, I believe they should be able to. I know that the initial game, August 24th, they were supposed to go into 10-day hold. But because they haven't had any in 3 days, I think they dropped that to 7. So they could potentially make that last date.
Well, good for them.
Yep.
It's too bad. Welcome to COVID world. BC Lions win 24-12. Good game. Mike Riley looked great.
Yeah, I always like it when underdog teams play spoiler. So, it was kind of nice to see. No love lost for me in the Red Blacks. They're a competitor, so I'm not too upset.
Speaking of competitors, Hamilton Tiger Cats went into Montreal, and they did some good business, didn't they?
Yeah, they worked them 27-10. Everything was absolutely firing for them. So dropping them to 1-2 while elevating themselves is always a good thing. We're next going to see them in action on Monday, correct? They're going to be playing the Argonauts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Labor Day Classic right there.
There it is. I'm waiting to see if my media seat is available to me. It's all dependent on, COVID. Last minute, Liejo field goal gives the Blue Bombers a thrilling 18-16 win. I watched this game and I still can't believe what I saw.
It's nice every once in a while when you end up on the right side of it, especially when it comes down to something last minute. So.
Absolutely. And overall in the Canadian Football League, we'll find out how quickly on the subject of on the virus and the 85% level of vaccination that the league wants its players to be at. Edmonton's close to getting that. They should have that before their next game. If they want to get paid, that's what they have to do.
Now, does it count retroactively like that? Like, are they able to have forfeited or missed a game and then get their vaccine levels up to snuff and then get paid for it? Or like, is that something?
You want to know what it's like? What I'm going to say it's like, and this is just an opinion on my part, because, the league isn't going to say, we're changing the rules for the benefit of Edmonton. No, what I'm going to say is this. It's like when you do something wrong, but, it's somebody goes, okay, you fixed it. I appreciate it. All right. I appreciate the fact that you fixed it. So we'll just forget it happened. You've shown us that you actually have intent on making things right. There are a lot of things that they've said. They're going to have, even in the training room, if a player isn't injured, he isn't going to be able to go in there. They're going to eat together. No more going out to restaurants. All these things that smack of social distancing on a more excessive scale, more than other teams are doing, is a sort of, I'm sorry, it's like the roses from the husband who forgets the anniversary.
So it's you didn't do it before. We're going to make sure that you do it now, and you have no one to blame but yourselves.
Right. The threat arrived, and if someone wants to remain in the relationship, and I think the Edmonton Elks want to remain in the Canadian Football League playing football games, they're going to do what the boss says. It's just that simple. I don't know. Would it be any more difficult than that?
It shouldn't be. So
and it is what it is. I mean, we can talk about football players being people and having rights. We can talk about that. We can talk about that all day. But we also have drawn the conclusion, many have, and the people who are forced to make an intelligent decision, and I say that intentionally, people who are forced to make an intelligent decision realize that shake everything up, throw everything everywhere when it comes to COVID, getting vaccinated is a good idea.
no, I definitely agree.
Right? And the league wants to play. And the league said, we won't play if the boys have the virus. Right?
And I mean, that's really the crux of it. Is if you want to make money, you need to play. If you want to play, you need to be vaccinated. It's really that simple. This is the new shirt. This is the new no shirt, no shoes, no service. Is basically.
Well, when you're on the road, right? I want to drive how I want. But here's the problem. You can't drive the way you want. You have to drive the way is safe for everybody. You have to take into consideration the way you drive your vehicle can impact other people. So your right to drive as you wish is mitigated by the law. People make rules, and those rules are followed because of the greater good. And that's a word that I think, or two words, or a phrase that, Aaron, it seems we have witnessed being thrown over the deep end, like the greater good. And by that, I mean not what the left wants, not what the right wants, not what the center wants, but what's best for all of us. That's all. So there you go. Make up your own mind. Speaking of the greater good, something really great and something really good happened, should I say, to Montreal?
Do tell.
Kotkaniemi?
Yes.
The $20 signing bonus? Sebastian Aho's number.
So for those that aren't aware, a couple years back, the Montreal Canadiens offer sheeted a young player by the name of Sebastian Aho, who played for the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, the Hurricanes didn't match, or were unable to match. I think it was cap issues that prevented them from doing it, based on what Montreal threw at them. So a good young player, drafted 3rd overall in 2018, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, was up. So the Carolina Hurricanes decided to offer sheet him, and they decided to offer sheet him to the tune of $6 million.
With $1 million, yep.
A $6.1 million with a $20 signing bonus. Now, those of you who know the National Hockey League and watch it, as Frank mentioned, 20 is the number of Sebastian Aho. So it appears that Kotkaniemi will be heading to Carolina. Now, in the subsequent posts that went out, and especially on Twitter, the Carolina Hurricanes were very careful to mimic the exact same wording that the Montreal Canadiens used when they had initially offer sheeted Sebastian Aho a couple of years back. So that makes it a little funnier.
And then you have, I don't remember the writer's name, but he was all upset. What a childish move by the Carolina Hurricanes. What a terrible thing for them to do.
That would be, I believe, Jack Todd, who also advocated for Montreal to have a great offseason by offer sheeting Mitch Marner a couple of years back. He was also strongly advocating doing away with offer sheets because it doesn't do anything for the league and just causes rifts. Meanwhile, of course, he is advocating for his team to go out and offer sheet everybody they can. So,
we're not the only ones that have a homer in our broadcast.
Nope, not in the slightest. I'll cop
But at least
that.
Ours admits it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. At least ours admits it. Evander Kane alleges his estranged wife physically assaulted him multiple times. What's up with that?
This is a deepening of the ongoing saga. A couple weeks back, Evander Kane's wife Anna accused him of betting on his own games. In addition, also had intimated that he was neglecting their daughter and was being abusive. So he's turned around and said, yeah, well, hey, guess what? I'm getting a temporary restraining order against you because you beat me. So
It's
he
quite
says,
possible. It's quite possible.
he's
You know,
claiming
but
that,
men can't admit that, though, Aaron.
well, I mean,
You know what I mean? Like,
he's claiming that beginning a year into their marriage back in 2019, she hit him 7 to 8 times in the face with her fist. He described an incident where apparently she'd struck him in the face during an argument while her mother was visiting. And then in April 2021, she started uncontrollably throwing things at him after going through his phone. So I'm not sure if perhaps there's a reason why she started throwing things at him after going through his
but when it
phone.
comes to assault, Aaron, there is no excuse. Don't forget that. You must remember that. Assaulting another human being isn't justified and can't be justified. And that's the part that I like, is that it's fun to sit there and go, okay, now how do we treat the other person? So if it's true, if he can prove it, he should get some sort of relief, if you will, and assault by anyone, anybody doing it. I think everybody, if anyone should report it, everyone should report it. A problem with men is, and this is just an opinion on my part, you don't want to be referred to as a cat. If you complain about a woman hitting you, it's socially, it's just socially not acceptable, right? Because, the same reason why women need more rights and their rights established is the same reason why a man won't admit a woman is hitting him or abusing him. It's that stupid male ego, in my opinion. So if everybody holds everybody accountable, better world.
As we've often said, the truth will out.
Not all the time, but it's nice that if it has a shot. That's the way I look at it, as long as it has a shot. Hey, speaking of a shot, there's some really good stuff happening in women's hockey.
Oh,
got anything
yes, sir.
to tell me?
Canada versus Switzerland today in the semifinals, which is awesome. That starts puck drop is at 7. The United States is playing Finland. That game was underway a little earlier today in the semifinals, so that's something definitely to keep an eye on. As it currently stands, I'm just looking at the scores now, and the final was USA 3, Finland nothing. So they are moving on, of course, to the gold medal round. So Canada still has to play Switzerland this evening, and we'll see how that goes. It's not a foregone conclusion. Anything can happen. For example, Japan actually went 3-1 this tournament.
Yes,
which is absolutely fantastic. I don't think any of them expected that result. They beat Denmark 1-0. They lost to the Czech Republic 4-0. They beat Hungary 4-1, and they beat I believe it was Germany 2-1.
Absolutely.
So they probably got their butts handed to them in the quarterfinals against the United States 10-2, but they also won their relegation game 3-2 over the Czech Republic, which is the best that the Japanese program has ever done at these sorts of things.
We're getting to the point where meddling requires playing really well. Back in the day, if you were Canada or the US, or now it's like Finland, that used to be Sweden, those 3 of those teams would get medals. And then there's the group below them that, can maybe play for the medal, but not have much of a chance. And then you have the other teams even lower than that. What's happening is everything's bunching up in women's hockey because the talent's getting better and the separation and difference is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And as their talent grows, and I got to tell you, said it before, say it again, exponentially speaking, women's hockey is improving leaps and bounds. From year to year, you can see the advanced playing ability of women and the trickery that we're using. Now you're starting to see women use the lacrosse goal. You and I like lacrosse. and some players like the lacrosse goal. They're starting to do that. There's a young lady, I think she's an American, actually scored a lacrosse goal in a game. So yeah, it's great. It just proves that, if given the chance, people can break barriers, ceilings, walls, and records, right? They can do it all if given the opportunity. And I'm not just speaking about women, I'm speaking about life in general. Any group given a chance to show what they can do, given the opportunity, they can do well. And it's great that women are finally getting the opportunity to play a lot of hockey and not have to fight just to play hockey. Now,
exactly.
They're playing, and that's what they got to worry about. How can I be better? How can we get a league that's better? How can I play on a better team? It's just great. We've been waiting for this, and they're not done yet. They're not there yet, and I don't think women will ever be satisfied, and good for them.
And honestly, they really shouldn't be.
No, they should.
Until they're on equal footing, there's no way that they should be satisfied in the slightest.
And nobody can define what an equal footing is either, Aaron. Not to go against what you just said. I think people should just be able to be the best they can be, and any obstacle needs to be removed once we see them. And we have to admit sometimes obstacles exist in life that we, as a society, aren't aware they are there. So once we're made aware, we need to do something. And that's what I mean about being able to play. The obstacle was for women to have places to play, leagues to play in, teams to play on, be able to get paid so they don't have to have a job and they can play professionally. Because if they play professionally and the game pays them to play, they get that much better again. So it's great. I love the progress. It's not enough. They're not there yet. As long as the road keeps, stays open, the future is.
The future's definitely looking bright. Now, on another note, just so people are aware, on a certain sports network, it has 3 letters in its name. They don't sponsor us, so I'm not willing to actually say their name. But on their 4th channel, you can actually catch up the placement games as well as the bronze medal and gold medal games tomorrow.
TSN. All right. We did it. Shame on us. Hey. Greenwood scores for a 3rd straight game. United beats the Wolves.
So this is a nice little story. Man U teenager Mason Greenwood, he's a 19-year-old striker. He's scored for 3 games in a row now. His goal actually clinched a 1-0 victory at Wolverhampton on Sunday for Man U. So very happy to see that. And Absolutely. It's actually it's good that he's getting this in now, because Cristiano Ronaldo is going to come in and just suck all the air out of there, because it's going to be all about him when he starts playing later this week. So
Messi had his big week, and then who said, "Hold my beer, would you?"
Yeah.
Verstappen wins rain-marred Belgian Grand Prix after short restart.
Yeah, this was a rather interesting situation. Now, for those who were following the qualifying and the practice on Friday and Saturday, they had 6 Formula 3 cars all go off on the same corner. In addition, there were a couple F1 drivers that had massive shunts heading into there because of the rainy conditions. So, unfortunately, on Sunday morning, we were all getting ready to go for 2:55 p.m. But unfortunately, the rain pushed back the start and pushed back the start and pushed back the start. And they were only actually able to complete 2 laps under green behind a pace car after a slow modified rolling start, at which point they decided we're going to go with the qualifying order. So Verstappen finished first, and then, it all fell out like that. Nobody was happy, of course. Lots of fans complaining, but there's not a lot you can do, especially when it comes to safety concerns. So it was Verstappen, George Russell, who placed second in his 50th F1 race, and Lewis Hamilton.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Canadian politics and the election. I got my letter today.
You did?
So I can vote by mail.
Excellent.
And she can vote by female. Concerns raised after elections. Canada scraps on-campus voting program. What?
Yes. So Elections Canada has said that there's really not enough time for us to put together. There was a vote on campus program, which was started as a pilot program back in 2015. And the aim was to help those on campus, like students, cast a special ballot at polling stations. The pilot program became an official program during the 2019 election. There were about 110,000 ballots that were cast on university campuses across the country. Unfortunately, this time around, they're saying that due to the extremely short length of the campaign, 36 days, they were unable to get everything set up in time with adequate precautions in place and enough staffing. Now, there are, of course, factions that are screaming that the Liberals are trying to suppress the student vote because how dare they? And it's all their fault for calling an election in the middle of the pandemic, and how dare they? So we'll see.
Okay, two stories together, blend them together. Trudeau climate promises interrupted by angry crowd in Ontario. Trudeau then says he won't back down after protesters hurl death threats, racist and sexist slurs.
So there were signs that were held up saying high treason, which is a picture of Trudeau standing by the gallows at a Cambridge event on Sunday. This was 2 days after a Trudeau rally in Bolton was canceled over security concerns from another angry crowd. So there's a lot of chances here where his campaign, out of an overabundance of caution, hasn't proceeded because they feel that the crowds could potentially cause violence. So the Conservative Party is, of course, decrying this, but when there are people showing up chanting freedom and hang the bum and with upside down Canadian flags, it kind of makes you wonder where decorum has gone in the political sphere.
Staying within the Conservative Party, O'Toole doesn't discourage talk of climate lockdowns in the future.
I'm really not sure what was going on here, but I know that Cheryl Gallant is the MP in question, who said that the Liberals are apparently getting ready for a climate lockdown where nobody will be able to drive their cars and will be forced to convert to electric vehicles and only use solar power. And it's because of the carbon tax and well, the list goes on.
There's an interview and some excerpts from it with the Manitoba Premier preparing to leave office.
Yeah, so this was a bit of a surprise to some. I wasn't expecting it either, but Manitoba Premier Brian Palliser says he plans on stepping down on this Wednesday, so September 1st.
Wow.
He says if you govern with a view that you want to be popular every day for 4 years so you can win the next one, you're not going to get much done. And because I've accomplished so much, I am so very much unpopular.
A Toronto man, 21, facing charges after gunfire at Yorkdale Mall. I was involved in one of those. Just got missed by a little bit. Judge orders Cincinnati. Let's move on. Judge orders Cincinnati Hospital to treat COVID-19 patient with animal drug ivermectin, despite CDC warnings. What now?
Yeah, so this woman said she wanted to be treated with ivermectin, and Cincinnati Hospital said no. And she said, okay, fine, I'm taking you to court. And finally, Butler County Common Pleas Judge Gregory Howard ordered Westchester Hospital, part of the University of Cincinnati Health Network, to treat Jeffrey Smith with ivermectin. The order, filed August 23rd, compels the hospital to provide Smith with 30 milligrams of ivermectin daily for 3 weeks.
Leave It to Beaver star Tony Dow, hospitalized with pneumonia, waited 24 hours for a bed due to COVID. We talked about this in the last show, that this is going to happen more and more.
Yeah, this is one of those bellwethers. This is one of those canaries in a coal mine sort of situations here, where somebody who has an illness unrelated to COVID is not able to be treated because there are too many unvaccinated people taking up hospital beds.
Lou Grant, known as Ed Asner, dies at 91.
So, yeah, star of screen and stage Ed Asner passed away after a long run, a very, very lengthy career. He is going to be missed. He burst to prominence in the 1970s on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Rest in peace, man. It's going to suck.
Saskatchewan medical community takes to Twitter to share realities of healthcare system amid COVID-19. It's that same subject.
Yep. It's we're overworked. You guys got to make sure that you get vaccinated, and it's taking a big toll on them. It's not fun for them at all.
Ontario reports 740 new COVID infections, 2 viruses-related deaths.
Yeah, so our average has been steadily going up week over week over week. So it does appear that we are going to be entering a fourth wave soon, which is not good for anybody.
New Brunswick COVID roundup. Public Health announces new public exposure sites. Student jailed 12 weeks for exposing others to COVID risk while on SHN.
Yeah, so this student actually decided not to do what they were asked to do. So they, ended up exposing themselves to a whole bunch of people and potentially causing another spreader event.
Ugh. Aaron, thanks, buddy.
No problems, Frank. Thank you.
He's Aaron William Freeland. I'm Candid Frank Stanisci. Thank you for watching Candid Frank Live. Aaron, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Candid Frank Live, other news, entertainment, and sports programming we offer, please check out SpanglishWorld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ciao for now.